YB stays on your neck.
It's on my neck.
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So we've just seen Anthony, Ale, Cash Cow, Joshua working on some kind of timing and precision drills. Now, I got to call a spade here. It did take me a while to work out what they was actually doing. I couldn't really work out. And just in case you can either, essentially, the trainer Don, whoever that dude is holding a tennis ball, and AJ has to use his timing and precision to an extent to get the ball without being hit by the rope he's got in his hands. Now, for me, boxing drills, this sort of stuff, alright, if you want to do it as part of a warm down, that's great, no harm there, but for me, from a training perspective, I'd like to sit down with AJ and work out what happened in that Ruiz fight, because it's not the first time. It's really not the first time. I showed you a lot before. Go back to 2011, Mihai Nistor. Joshua's skill sets are lacking in a very particular set of skills. And to be honest with you, most fighters lack in these particular skills. Put it this way. Anyone who gets pressure stuck on them, it's very hard to deal with. Only very elite fighters who have trained to prepare for pressure can deal with it. David Hay talks about it. It's not natural. Having a 250-pound man come at you straight forward, it's not normal. Most fighters, especially at heavyweight, most fighters, they're tall and they're long, and the fight starts, and they're jabbing, they're moving, they're jabbing, a bit of a right hand every now and then. It's all slow paced. You get to build into it. Look at the Klitschko fight as a perfect example. The first 4 rounds, they feel each other out. All of AJ's fights have gone like that, to be honest. Throughout his career, name me someone who really came forward and stuck it on him. To be honest with you, Ruiz didn't really even do that. Ruiz weren't no Mike Tyson, but still, just that constant forward pressure. It's not normal. Throughout, look at all of the fights Joshua's had. He's been the one who's been holding his feet, and he's been the one coming forward. Now, the strategy that Joshua had was also shocking, but let's concentrate on the particulars. What needs to be addressed. And on that note, I do wonder where McCracken is, to be honest. Bearing in mind, Joshua at this level, for this amount of money, he should have a Don like YB who's there day in, day out. How can you build up someone's psychology if you're only coming in for an 8-week camp? How can you build up someone's skills and confidence? And yet, pure discipline. You need to be disciplined. You need to be trained. Not an 8-week camp. Oh, right, you know what? You can go off of A, B, C, D. It needs to be nurtured. Where is McCracken? What is he doing? He should be. Oh, that's all we should see. That's all we should see in every training video. McCracken should be in there. I just don't understand it at all. What better things have you possibly got to be doing? And this is another thing why he needs to leave McCracken, because. Oh well, he's working with Team GB. Yeah, great. Let him work with Team GB. If he's got split commitments, it's like he wants to do everything. He wants to do Team GB and he wants to do Joshua. No, it doesn't work like that. Other trainers would literally bite their arms off to get to work with Joshua alone. McCracken wants to work with 20 amateur fighters and have Joshua on the side. Joshua ain't no side piece fighter. I'm sorry. If it was a British level dude, and even then really it's not acceptable. But when you've got the hope of the UK and the top prospect, genetically speaking, in terms of physical gifts, Joshua's the best. And he's got a coach who can't even turn up. And this isn't the first time. If you look at all of Joshua's sessions since he lost, in fact, going back before that, if you look at all of Joshua's little quirky videos, McCracken's nowhere to be seen. I reckon McCracken comes in 8 weeks before and then starts trying to make out. You can't be, at this level, as it's been found out, you can't train and drill and discipline a fighter if he's got different people. Like this dude holding the tennis ball today. That's not the same consistent man. The other day it was another man. It's all over the place. It honestly feels like a bit of a shambles to me. I'm sorry. I'm calling what I'm seeing. It's not a personal attack on anyone. Well, in fact, take it as you want. I'm calling as I see it. Joshua, we're talking millions of pounds here. Rob McCracken has made millions of pounds and he can't get his ass out of bed or whatever he's doing. He can't commit to Joshua. He wants to keep running GB. It doesn't work like that at this level. And the fact that McCracken has exposed himself, his mentality. The fact that after this loss, he didn't come out and put a statement out. The fact after this loss, he hasn't come out and said, you know what, Joshua, I can't commit to you. Maybe bring someone else in for the meantime. The fact he's held no responsibility, and then now what do we see? And the fact that he can't commit to Joshua, he should be saying, you know what, Josh, you're paying me well more than I'd make anywhere else, Team GB or not. Team GB can't be paying him more than 100 grand a year. He's making millions of Joshua, but yet he can only come in for a 10-week camp. Are you joking? What's going on here? What's going on? I just don't get it. And it's not, I wouldn't even mind, you know, if when McCracken came in, he was the greatest trainer. Not only is he not there 90% of the year, also, when he is there, he's crap. I'm going to expose it in the next few days. I'm going to do a live stream of McCracken's pad sessions. All you see Joshua do is single jab. Single, slow and ponderous jab. Nice, yeah, slow it down, lad. Yeah, nice and slow. Keep it loose. Another jab. One jab every 10 seconds. It's no wonder why Joshua's jab hasn't improved. His jab, it's lovely as it is, but as we already know, the muscular conditioning you have to have. He needs to be tripling it up and throwing 20 of them in a minute. Bang, bang, bang. Pivot, bang, bang, bang. Step forward, bang, bang, bang. That's how it needs. That's how you really create a strong jab. Well, in fact, drilling and training something, the muscle memory, you have to repeat it thousands of times in a particular session and over thousands of sessions. That's how you get a world-class jab. You don't get it by a dude coming in 8 weeks, twice a year, and throwing singles on a pad every now and then. You have to push your body. Your body needs to be exerted in that particular movement. If you haven't been exhausted from throwing jabs, if your shoulders and your neck hasn't been hurting because you've been throwing a triple jab all day, that's how you create muscular development. That's how you condition your body and your cardiovascular system. You don't condition it by throwing singles a few times and then stopping and then you're not even tired. If your muscles aren't aching and your heart's not pumping, and look at all of Joshua's videos. This is the other thing. Even this video here, and like I say, let me put a bit of a disclaimer on this. People often say, oh, well, you don't see the rest of the training. I'm like, yeah, you're right, I don't see the rest of the training. So I'm going to assume, bottom line is, I'm analysing this video. Now, there may be great things going on behind the works. There might be, and if that's the case, we'll see it on June. If we see the same mistakes and see what holes in the game, we'll know it wasn't going on. But I'm going to bet my bottom dollar that not much has really changed in the vaccines. That's what I'm going to bet on. But I'll be pleasantly surprised and I'll give people their dues if that's not the case. But as I was saying, from all the videos I see, and people say, oh, well, you don't see it all, but is it a coincidence? Why is it all of Joshua's videos that he puts out, they're all the same pace. They're all that comfortable, like, heart rate 140, 150 kind of level. Do you understand? You don't see Joshua really exerting himself or being really explosive and puffing. It's all that middle ground, that middle aerobic level, where you're kind of going through the motions. Every single one of them. Even with McCracken on the pads. It's that mid-level, which is no good, because when you're in a fight and you've got a 260-pound pressure fighter coming forwards, your heart rate's going to be elevated anyway. Never mind when you're being hit with combinations that you've never been hit with before. And that moves me on really to my next point. This drill. And as I said, it might be alright as a bit of a warm-down drill, but in reality, it's not serving any purpose. His feet are moving at a pretty standard pace. You see the kind of that normal one-pacedness. But when you're fighting a pressure fighter, when you're moving backwards explosively. Everything's got to be real sharp, because them combinations are coming real sharp. You've got to make sure you can catch and parry and move and react to what Ruiz is doing real quick. As an example, if Ruiz dings a left hook to the body and left hook upstairs, you need to be able to react to that ASAP. And from what I see, it's all this mid-levelness, and that's why you need a trainer or someone who understands this to come in, and because Joshua doesn't know any different. How's he gonna know? The guy here thinks he's doing a great job, but you need to be told, speed it up, explosive, or whatever. Not every session, but there needs to be a change of pace somewhere, surely. And this drill of grabbing a ball, when do you do that in a fight, as such? The head's a pretty big target, and Ruiz ain't got Mike Tyson-like head movement. Yeah, and I'm not being funny, this dude wasn't even really moving the ball anyway. He was just holding it, and then Joshua was coming in and out, and that's the other thing, as I was saying. The key flaws I took from the Ruiz fight is becoming comfortable under pressure. Yeah? becoming comfortable under pressure. Now, this guy's got that bit of rope in his hand, which he flings about the place. And in reality, we need to see Joshua getting comfortable being hit. That's what should be happening. So it's no good throwing the rope in the air, because Ruiz is going to be hitting you square in your head or square in your body. So that needs to be replicated somehow. And I just don't see it happening. I'm sorry, I don't. Flinging a rope there, and that's the other thing you'll notice. It makes me laugh. You always see people on the pads or whatever, like McCracken, when you see it all the time, when people do, like, I don't know, they'll throw 1-2 left hook, and then they'll roll under the pads, and the pad man goes right over their head. The pad man does a big massive semicircle. It's like, no, why would you do it? What fighter, whenever you throw a 1-2-3, yeah, assuming you've just thrown a 3, which is the hook, you're going to be pretty much toe to toe at that point, and therefore your opponent ain't going to be throwing a big weaving hook over your head. So I don't get it. If you're going to throw a 1-2-3 and slip, in reality, your trainer should be throwing that shot to your head. Bottom line, if you get caught in the head, that's what my mate who used to train me used to do it. And it used to piss me off. I thought, why is he hitting me in the head for? I could never understand why he was taking it so seriously. But now I get it, because if your trainer's throwing the ducker right over your head, that's not disciplining you to do anything. Now, if you're getting hit square in the head with it, it teaches you 2 things. Number 1, wait there a minute. After I throw my inside shot, my trainer keeps hitting me in the head. I know what to do. Let me make sure after I throw my 3, my left hand's square back at my head. So at least when he hits my head, it hits my guard. Or number 2, wait there a minute. Maybe he's hitting my head because I'm not ducking deep enough. So let me duck a bit more. These are the 2 things you can be thinking about, but you don't see that. I'm sorry, I don't see it. This man flinging a rope in the middle of the air, what's that proving? And it's not as if, well, wow, to be fair, YB, look how explosive Joshua's feet were. Or look how low Joshua dipped. It's because Joshua was dipping really quick, or because Joshua's feet were moving really quickly. And I say this not as criticism, and people say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe I don't, but this is my opinion, and I want the best for AJ, bottom line. And I'm sorry. From what I'm observing here, the changes that need to be made, they're not there. They're not. But they might be going on in the background, it might be. But from what I've seen as I was saying, in 2011, you can all watch it, Joshua versus Nihei or Mihei Nistor. Put in Nistor, Joshua versus Nistor, 2011. Watch that fight, and you tell me, if I had Joshua for 8 years, this dude would be, I don't give a, listen, all I know is the fundamentals would have been covered by now. That's it, simple. Yeah? So if you don't want to say, oh, well, how do you know what's going on in the background? Well, in the last 8 years, he's making the same mistakes. And they're not massive. These mistakes, what frustrates me with Joshua is, he has the elite level stuff, i.e., the power. Fury, no matter how much Fury works out, we never get that power. Yeah? Joshua has the power. Joshua has the speed. He has the stuff that you have to be gifted with. What frustrates me is, he doesn't do the basics really well. He doesn't. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He doesn't do just little things like making sure your guard's real tight. Yeah? Making sure your guard's real tight and making sure your hands are coming back square to your head after every shot you throw. Instead of coming back to your chest. Because at your chest, they can't protect nothing. As he found out in the Ruiz fight. And I don't know, man. Anyway, as I was saying, this Joshua needs to be practicing being under pressure. Now, you don't necessarily I don't even mean taking massive headshots. Just this is why you need to bring people who understand what they're doing in. As an example, you can bring in sparring partners who are there for a purpose. You tell them, listen, we're not throwing 100% shots a day. We're going to be throwing 30 or 40%. And what I want you to do is, Joshua's going to go in the ring today, and all he's going to think about, he's not going to be throwing back at you. All he's going to be doing is keeping sharp and pure defense. Head movement, head movement, catches and parries, and foot movement. That's all Joshua can do. And we're going to do 20 rounds of it. Now, over time, so if the opponent's just throwing shots at Joshua, he has to, at that point, he's in the ring. He can't fire back. Too much, in my opinion, as an example, the Ruiz fight. Too much Joshua relies on his power and speed to get him out of jail. Look at the Ruiz fight. The Ruiz fight, he put Ruiz down, and then he got put down, and he started just trying to fire with Ruiz. Does that make sense? He was relying, he was hoping he could hit, whereas in reality, he didn't need to panic. In both times, he didn't need to panic. He could have thought, you know what, if Ruiz is putting me under pressure, I know, because of the last 8 weeks or the last year, I've been practicing. I've had big men, quick men in the gym throwing shots at me when I couldn't even throw back. So I've got the confidence. I know I've been in there in the past with world-class dudes where all I've had is my defense. I don't feel Joshua's confident enough in his defense. And in reality, look at Floyd Mayweather. A great example. When Floyd fought De La Hoya, I actually think De La Hoya won that fight, but my point is, there was many times in that fight, or even the Maidana fight. Look at the Maidana, the first fight. Floyd has world-class defense and he's confident in it. He's happy to sit on the ropes, no problem. He's happy to sit there and catch and move, and he's solid with his defense. He's confident with it. He knows when he gets tired, or if he needs a rest, or if he gets stuck there. Never mind if you need a rest, or just sometimes you get caught in the corner against the ropes. It's no good being in that position and panicking, your heart rate going up, and just feeling like you got to throw back. And that's why Mayweather's so good at catching and countering. He catches loads of people on the ropes because he's confident in his defense. He can roll the shoulder. He can roll the shoulder and ding a short right hand because he's confident there. He's confident actually looking at what's coming back at him, catching it and countering it. You have to be confident. You can't be doing these elite, or not elite, you can't be doing these higher level, higher IQ things like catching and countering if your defense ain't tight. Simple as that. And I don't believe, from what I've seen, listen, 8 years is a long damn time. He should be a complete different fighter. Unfortunately, Joshua is more or less similar to what he was in 2011. What's the fight about? Don't criticise me. What's the 2011 fight against Mihai Nistor? You tell me if you see 8 years worth of improvement. And it makes me laugh. I hear a lot of boxing people, they say like, oh, well, Joshua started the sport late. Come on, man. It's been 12 years. Are you serious? Do you know how long 12 years is? I'm sorry, I don't believe it. For me, not started the sport long ago is a 3 or 4 or 5 year thing, max. In 5 years, when you're bearing in mind you're training twice a day for 5 years, do you know how many hours that is? Come on. I'm sorry. For me, 12 years, 11 years is more than enough time to get these things right. It's not that difficult. In my opinion, I don't understand how these things can't be fixed within a year. I really don't. Or even a few months. It's not rocket science. When you throw a right hand, it comes back to your chin. That's it. Simple. But as I say, Joshua hasn't had a taskmaster on his head, drilling it into his brain, making him disciplined. I just don't see it. As an example, when McCracken takes him on the pads, AJ's doing the same things. He'll pull the right hand to his chest and then throw it. I've never heard McCracken pull him on that. After Joshua throws the right hand, his hands come back to his chest. And yeah, don't get me wrong, it looks relaxed and it is relaxed. That's the thing. That's a lot of things that fighters forget. A lot of people, they focus too much time on being relaxed. As an example, when you're in a fighting stance, it is more relaxed to have your hands at chest level. It is more relaxed because when your hands are at your chest, well, we all know when you want to put your hands up high, it's straining. It strains your shoulders and it strains your back muscles, like your traps and whatnot. It's not comfortable. But unfortunately, that's where you're safe. That's where you're protected when your hands are at your head. And therefore, the reason it strains your shoulders and your trapezius is because their muscles are small and they're weak. One thing we do know is, you don't condition them muscles by continuing to keep your hands nice and relaxed at your chest. You have to push through that. And over time, once you've drilled it, and once you've done stuff like weighted reps, so you can get like 2 kilo dumbbells and do some shadow boxing with them in your hands, once you've done that, it becomes natural. And that same place, a lot of them shots that Ruiz caught him with would have been remedied by him naturally having his hands at his head. And I hate to keep going over the basics, but these are the basic gaps we've got. And I feel at this point, 8 years in, Joshua should be focusing on the much higher level things. As in, I don't know, like I say, we can talk about them another day, but that's what he should be focusing on. He should be focusing on he should be focusing on being more explosive, being more devastating. This Ruiz guy should have been completely blown out of there, and I feel McCracken is taking Joshua on a whole weird journey. all of this boxing business, all of this, oh, I want to be a boxer. I want to be a boxer. You've never been that fighter. Yes, Joshua is a hybrid between Tyson and Lennox Lewis. He's not an all-out boxer. And that Ruiz performance, or the first half of it, the dude looks confused, man. There isn't a guy leading it. And look at... McCracken isn't around enough, unfortunately. He only pops in for a 10-week camp once or twice a year. He should, for that amount of money, yeah, and this level of caliber, the dude should be there every session. Every session is doing something. McCracken should be there in some capacity. That's what a trainer's for. As an example, Mike Tyson and Customato. You didn't see Customato off doing other things and coming in for a 10-week camp. That's not how you build that deep psychology. That's not how you build these high-level things. And from what I've heard, the conversations that Customato and Mike used to have, real deep things and a real deep understanding and bond, which I just don't get that feeling. Well, the bottom line is he's not there half the time. He's not there. So how can he be developing any deep bond? And I always go back to this, but look at the Carl Froch example. Carl Froch, what skills did he develop in his career? What skills? Yeah, he looks the same damn... Since McCracken got with him, he's the same damn fighter. The same one. Anyway, didn't realise how long this video has gone on for, but let me know your thoughts below. This video, it's the same as always, the same pace. Not really showing us much more. Maybe there is other things going on, don't get me wrong, I could be completely wrong, but you've noticed... In this video, he's doing jabs, but there's not a lot of them. It's all that whole middle ground, that slow, and to make adaptations, you have to push your body into adaptations physiologically. If you want to make leaps and bounds, if you want to become faster, if you want to become have more endurance, you have to push your body. And if all the videos I see of Joshua, it's all even paced. There's never any heart blowing. Well, don't get me wrong. If we see him on the bike or on the rower, then he's all of a sudden puffing. But it's no good there. I'm sorry, it's no good. Otherwise, Mo Farah would be a great boxer. Yeah? Or Lance Armstrong would be a great boxer. They're not. In fact, I've got friends who have done triathlons before, Ironmans, these great endurance feats, and they've come into a boxing ring and they can't do 2 or 3 rounds. They're completely blowing. So that completely, for me, puts off the whole business of, you cross-training. If that was the case, why is my mate blowing after 2 or 3 rounds? It's a completely different ball game. And he needs to be being stressed in these environments. Because what we know is, for a fact, in the Ruiz fight, he's going to be stressed. He's going to have combinations coming at him, and he's not going to have time. He's going to have to rely on his natural reactions. And if them natural reactions are pulling his hands to his chest, he's going to get clipped again.